Hi guys, welcome. Tomorrow morning I will be heading over to Derby to take part in my very first Spartan DEKA FIT. Now, people who have frequented my channel for a while will know that at the start of this year I did a Spartan DEKA mile, as I did the year before, so I've done 2 up until now. This is called a Spartan DEKA FIT, and it's different because the runs are longer, but I'll get on to why the differences between the different models of DEKA in a moment. Let's firstly talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow's is special for a few different reasons, but the main reason that I wanted to talk about was that this is the country's first Spartan DEKA FIT, but it's an arena-based event. Ordinarily, these events, the Spartan DEKA events, are held out of affiliated gyms, so much smaller in scale, there's much less competition, there's much fewer athletes that take part. However, since Hyrox has come along, they've taken quite a lot of the spotlight away from the Spartan DEKA franchise. And that's because they hold their events in big, massive arenas and get through tens of thousands of athletes, leaving DEKA sort of wilting in the shade a little bit. Let's first talk about this event. This is at the Derby Arena. This is a world-class sporting venue where they are hosting this. Now, ordinarily, the DEKA events are hosted out of affiliated gyms, often in car parks or warehouses, and this has sort of made up this architecture of events up until now. In addition to that, because it's one of the country's only Spartan DEKA FITs, it is one of the crucial pieces to earning the Spartan DEKA trifecta. If you've ever done a Spartan before, you'll know you get a little segment of a medal that makes up a sort of a 3-part circle to make a whole medal. Now, as I alluded to at the start, there are 3 different ways of doing a Spartan DEKA event. The first is without any runs, so it's a 10-part hybrid fitness competition, right? So there's the one without running, so it's just 10 exercises in a row, and that's called the DEKA Strong. Then there is the DEKA Mile, the one I did at the start of this year, where there is 10 exercises, functional fitness exercises, combined with 160-meter runs in between. And finally, the one I'm going to be doing tomorrow, the Spartan DEKA FIT, is exactly the same, 10 exercises with a 500-meter run in between, thus making it the longest, arguably the hardest, because the distances are just that little bit further. So you have to think about pacing. Yeah, tomorrow's going to be an interesting day. Don't expect world records, not that I can even do them when I'm fit, but yeah, tomorrow's going to be about the experience and showing you guys what it's all about. Right, I am here now at the Derby Arena ahead of my race, which is in about an hour and a half. I've come a little bit early to sort of get the lay of the land, have a little look around. This is the first time this type of event has been held in a venue like this, so it is really quite exciting, quite a monumental day for the Spartan DEKA line of hybrid fitness competitions. I'm going to have a little look around and then maybe film my walk the floor video, just go around each of the exercise stations. If you want to check that out, it should be on my channel already. If not, just give the channel a subscribe now and you'll be notified when it's ready. Yeah, so this video is to show you my race day. And as I said in the introduction, I have been dealing with injury. Let's call it an injury for the time being, but it has warranted several hospital visits already and quite likely going to result in surgery before the end. My doctor has said that it is okay for me to do light to moderate exercise, so Spartan DEKA. I'm going to be doing it with a belt on for support. I'm not going to be going 100%, just to try to preserve what is left of my ailing body. So yeah, inside here there's going to be lots of athletes, all sorts of getting ready, priming for their race, and that will be me in a little bit. I'm just very excited to get in there, so let's not waste any more time jibber-jabbering out here and get inside. Okay, so this arena, the Derby Arena, is a multi-purpose, top of the range, top of the class sporting venue. Inside is a velodrome and a large space in the middle where people can do sporting activities like what we're doing today. Okay, step 1, registration here at the Derby Arena. It's just outside the front, you can't miss it. Very short queues, very rapid through registration, so you get a headband like you do at all Spartan races. Goes on here, and you get a little wristband to get in, and this goes on the right ankle, which is a timing chip. Now this is already sort of takes this event above, say, the gym affiliate versions of these that don't have timing chips, so that's a little bit of a step in the right direction. There are some other subtle changes inside, we'll go have a look at those now. So this is the Spartan DEKA Derby Arena, just over this way. Right, so as I said, outside there is a velodrome. It does get in the way a little bit from the spectating perspective. Okay, it's almost go time, so preparations. Right, first of all, a little sip of water. Wet the whistle. Okay, like all Spartan events, Spartan races, Spartan DEKA Fitness, you get a little headband, right? This has your number on it, it's important to wear. I always wear a sweatband anyway, so no problems there. And unlike other DEKA events where you just get a referee that follows you around, here all of the exercise stations have dedicated referees, and it's all done by timemanship, so this goes on the right ankle. Okay. To be super careful not to lose anything. A million miles away. Alright.
Great channel.
Cheers, mate. You out in a bit? Thanks, mate. See you in a bit. So this is the part of the video where we take just a small look at my race day footage, just to show you how I did and how it went on race day. Now, one of the key characteristics about the Derby Arena where this took place is that it is a velodrome. And as such, there is a bike track, like you see in the Olympics, where the track sort of goes round on the side. And this was in use at the time. And the event arena sat in the middle of the velodrome and sunk one floor down. This meant that the spectators had to spectate from the stands, the velodrome spectating stands, where you would go to watch the cycling. It meant that you had to look over the velodrome track through a perspex shield and down one floor, making the line of sight on the actual activities beneath very difficult, certainly with regards to filming and taking photos. In order for me to get enough clips for this video, I had to lean on some friends. I hadn't been able to get Holly to this one due to commitments, so I had to lean on a couple of friends, Heather and Dean, namely two of the people that helped me out a lot making this video. They were able to grab a few clips of me going around. So the way I'm going to do this is to go through the exercises, stations one at a time, and explain how I did it and how it went for me, touching briefly on anything of importance as we go. So like all hybrid fitness competitions, you get a wave time and you have to arrive at the start or the warm-up area ahead of your wave. I was prompt, in fact I was early even, only to join a queue of about 50 people. The way it works at DEKA is that they release them in smaller clumps of 3. Every couple of minutes they release 3 more people, and this is designed and intended to prevent people catching each other up. The faster runners catching up the slower runners and overwhelming some of the stations a little bit down the line. They only have a finite amount of equipment in each of the exercise stations, and what they don't want is someone coming in and nothing being available. So every couple of minutes, 3 people were released. When you get to the front, you get a little race briefing explaining to you how the laps work. Now you count your laps from the next station you're in. So as I passed station 1, I count 3 laps before going in, and as I then exit station 1, I then count 3 laps from station 2. This meant that you count your laps, it sort of creeps around the arena. So yes, 3, 2, 1, and we were away. I was launched with 2 other lovely ladies that I've seen at events before, and we sort of went around the track 3 times before entering station 1. So into exercise station 1, it is the reverse lunges. We've got 30 of these to do, alternate legs. Unlike high rocks where you walk forward with a lunge, this is a static lunge done backwards, so you just take a step back. You have something called a ram, which is a weighted cylinder that you have to have on your shoulders. Most people will do this across the neck, like equally, like you would a squat, but I have seen before now people throwing it over one shoulder. And now it's simply a case of doing these as fast as you can. Now 30 is not a particularly high amount to do, certainly at exercise station 1, but at around 20 reps, you start to feel that lactic acid creeping in. But at that point, you know you've only got 10 more to do, so it's about smashing them out as fast as possible. When you hit 30, dropping that ram down on the floor and getting out into the next run. So after 3 more laps of the arena, we enter exercise station number 2, which is the row. We simply have 500 meters to do here. It's a simple case of getting into your rower and starting to row. As I entered the station, I noticed that there wasn't really a judge paying attention to me. I think they'd just been dealing with other people at that exact second. I jumped on the first rower that I came across and the rower wasn't on. After a couple of rows, it activated and a man came running over and pressed the button, and then it started to row. Arguably, I could have saved a couple of seconds if the rower had been prepped ahead of time or had been directed to one that was on. I didn't know any better, and it's no one's fault, but that's just what happened on the day. I did my 500 meters, relatively straightforward, and then back out onto the running track. To exercise station number 3, it's the stepovers or box overs. You essentially have one of these exercise boxes that you see in the gym. It's set to 24 inches off the ground, and all you have to do is 20 reps over this box. The movement standards are you must touch both feet on top of the box and both feet on the ground either side. There is a definite technique to doing this for speed, and that is a step up, keeping your body low, and then stepping down. It looks a bit funny, it looks a little bit like a dance when you actually get into the rhythm of it, but if you can sustain it for full 20 reps, this exercise station is done really quite quickly. What you want to avoid is standing up at the top of each rep. That's such a huge waste of energy. You want to keep yourself low throughout this exercise. It's just your legs that move up and down essentially as you pass over the box. This wasn't a problem for me because I'd practiced this before going, and I'd seen lots of videos about how to get over it in the most efficient way, and I was able to implement that quite well. So exercise station number 4, it is the med ball sit-up. Now, if you've ever done a DEKA at an affiliated gym, you will find that this exercise is an exercise ball between the legs and above the head. At DEKA actual events, they have a piece of equipment where you, like a frame with a target, and the idea is that you hit the target and catch the ball and touch it behind your head, hit the target. So yes, this was a definite change, and there was a little bar at the bottom which you could jam your feet under and a little mat to sit on, and this actually made this exercise quite good. One thing I will say, you have to hit the target quite hard in order for it to bounce back to enable you to catch it in that movement. If you don't throw it hard, it falls low and sort of over your legs, which is not what you need because you're using extra energy then to pick it back up over your head. I wasn't in this one for very long, and this was the one exercise that I knew might hurt my side, but it didn't last long enough really to bother me. But yeah, in and out of this one without too much bother. So exercise station number 5, it's the ski erg, another 500 meters to do. And this is an interesting one because you are about at the halfway point. You are starting to get gassed, right? Your heart rate is starting to get up there. You've just gone from a run into ski and back into a run again. This is something that might make or break the rest of your race. It's very easy to blow up at this point doing cardio components. It's about finding that stroke rate, that pace that you know you can sustain for that amount of time. For me, I was looking at the clock, it was about a 152 per 500 pace, which is about right for that kind of distance. By the time I finished, I sort of literally stepped back out onto the running track and into the next run. Exercise station number 6, it's the farmer's carry, 2 kettlebells, 100 meters. When I entered this, I found my kettlebells quite quickly, picked them up and started to move. The very first thing I noticed about these kettlebells is that the handles were very shiny, like smooth and shiny, like chrome. And this, because there was no chalk and the kettlebells had been used many times, by this point in the day, the handles were slippy straight out of the gate. But it's only 100 meters. So I just sort of held on tight and got into my fast walk waddle that I normally do when I'm doing a farmer's carry. As it was only 100 meters compared to say high rocks, which is 200 meters, or deadly dozen, which is 240, 100 meters doesn't feel too bad. So it's kind of like an S shape as it sort of weaved back on itself before putting the weights back down. Now, one thing that I fell foul of is that there was not much space to put my weights back down where I'd got them from. So when I put them down, I got told to put them exactly where I got them from. Wasted a couple of seconds, but rules are rules. And then I was back out onto the track for the next run. Exercise station number 7, it's the assault bike, 25 calories to do. Now, arguably this is the worst of the stations in DEKA as far as I'm concerned. You start on the air bike and you know that this is already gassing you from the very start, and for some reason those calorie counters were going up really slow. It's about finding a pace that you can do that doesn't tank your cardio system. For me, I'd hate to use the word coasting because that's not right. I have a push-pull that I generally quite like to do, that I alternate sides, that just helps me stay in the zone, something to focus on. 25 calories seems to take an eternity, but it's over before you know it and you're out back onto the running track. So exercise station number 8, it's the dead ball wallovers, and we've got 20 of these to do. This is another one of those exercises that changes a little bit from the affiliate gym events that you see, where you put the ball over your shoulder. We have an actual frame, a wall to get the ball from one side to the other. So you pick the ball up and you just put it over the wall and vice versa. The only thing I will say is that the movement going around the frame each time, backwards and forwards, takes a little bit of time, say more than what it would putting it over your shoulder. But it was nice to actually have something to put the ball over. It wasn't that bad. And if anything, the height of that wall was lower than what my shoulder would be. So yeah, swings and roundabouts. I actually quite like this one. It allowed me to use the strength in my arms rather than my legs on the rest of my body, and I could just plop it over. Looking back at the video, it looks quite slow, but in my head, it felt quite quick. Right, and that wasn't too much of a problem, and back out onto the running track. So exercise station number 9, it is the tank push-pull. So we have a magnetic resistant sled, like one of these things with wheels and weights on top, and the idea is that it adds a push-pull resistance. So you push it for 10 meters, you take the TRX handles off and you pull it for 10 meters, and it's 5 sets of that, so 100 meters total. Now the very first thing I noticed when I started to push this thing was the floor was slippy, a very slick gloss floor, and I've got quite slick shoes. They're the Hyrox DV8 Nitros, and I wasn't able to get the traction that I needed on that surface. The only thing I could really do was just lean my weight into it, and as fast as it would go was it. I got a little bit more purchase on the pull, and I tried sort of alternated between pulling it toward me and simply leaning back. This one seems to take quite a while to do. It feels like you're on it for ages. But inevitably, it is the penultimate exercise station before going out onto your last run. And finally, exercise station number 10 is the RAM burpees. 20 of these to do. When you run into the station, you're presented with your RAM. You pick it up straight down into the first burpee. Allow your chest to touch the RAM, lying sideways on the floor before standing and locking out above your head. 20 of these to do. Now this is a relatively quick station, but because the exercise takes quite a long time to get through, time seems to stand still at this point, and you can't help but stress about your overall time. Every second you waste, every second you slow down, it is coming off your total time. Well, that's certainly what was going through my head. The first few were quite quick, both feet together, and as I started to reach the top of what I could do, as I started to gas out, I would start to bring my knee up, a sort of a preserving technique to allow me to keep going. Before you know it, you are raising the 20th rep above your head, and it's simply about crossing the finish line, which is right there. Right, that is the end of my sort of race day footage. I'm going to hand over to myself, who is outside the Derby arena, for my final thoughts. Okay, so I have just finished Spartan DEKA FIT here at the Derby arena behind me. First impressions, that was actually pretty good. I mean, the event itself, I love the format for DEKA. I find it very accessible, very doable for just about anybody. And if you just take 1 second to look around the people that are running around that track, there is the entire spread from first timer, newbie in a gym, right the way through to your elites. And it is fantastic to see everybody just giving it their all. With regards to me and my time, I got just over 42 minutes. Quite a surprise to me, considering I've not trained properly for this event, and my sides, my ailment, the thing that is hurting me, has sort of held me back a little bit. But I think with a little bit of preparation and good health, I could knock a couple of minutes off that and go sub 40. I definitely think that's doable. It was great to see so many people that I recognise from the sort of hybrid fitness sphere of Instagram and Facebook or whatever. So many great people that were in my wave and just ahead of me, just behind me, people that are going after me now, people that are in the same team as me. Yeah, lovely to see everybody today. And I think having this event, this size event in the Midlands, just brings people from all over the country, and I think that's amazing. Brings people together, and I guess that's the big takeaway. Not just coming here and doing my event, but coming and supporting other people, which I have made sure I've done a bit of while I'm here. So yeah, fantastic event. Right, I think that's me done for today. I don't think I need to do anything else from the office. I don't think I need to say anything else. I think that is a fantastic way to finish this video. If you're considering doing a Spartan DEKA FIT or any of the DEKA events, there's loads around the country that are held at affiliate gyms, and these bigger ones, these big arena ones, are starting to pop up as well. So yeah, get yourself booked on, get yourself down to the gym and get yourself training up for these. You will not regret it. Before you go, give my channel a subscribe. There's a subscribe button down the bottom somewhere. I always appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video soon. Mart out.